Thank you for evaluating our Scan and Organize add-on for ACT. Scan and Organize adds advanced document management functionality to your ACT software by enhancing the existing document management features of ACT. Our add-on allows the user to link ACT contacts, companies, and/or groups to designated Windows folders on your computer or your network. This link allows immediate access to the related folders and files from inside of a tab in ACT. From this tab, you have the option of managing these files and subfolders, or alternately scanning documents directly to the selected folders. Simply look up the contact and the associated folder in ACT is displayed in the Organizer tab. The Organizer tab gives the user full file management features, typically found in the Windows Explorer or My Computer. Some of these features include copying, cutting, pasting, deleting, renaming files, and much more. The ACT user can even drag and drop files and even Outlook email messages directly into the Organizer tab. In addition, the standard right mouse click menu options are available in the Organizer. This video will discuss the Organizer tab related to contacts only, but most of the features are also available for companies and groups. We will be using the terms contacts and clients interchangeably to reference contacts in the ACT database. The term contact, client, customer, patient, or otherwise can be used depending on the industry and your own industry's conventions. The Scan and Organize software requires a field to be added to your ACT database. The field will store the path to the client's folder. The software will add the field if it does not already exist, or you can manually add the field before installing the Scan and Organize. The field's name should be org.xpath and should be a character field of 254 characters. The name is case sensitive. Let us take a look at how Scan and Organize works. Within the ACT interface, after installing Scan and Organize, locate the Organizer tab and select the Configuration button to define your preferences. The configuration window allows each user to establish his or her own preferences on the behavior of the organizer. You should begin by deciding which folder on your computer or network will be the root folder for all of your clients or contacts subfolders. If you already have a client folders, browse to the location of your existing root folder. Scan and Organize will optionally create the contacts folders for you, or you can manually link the contact to an existing folder. Decide how you would like to name the folders by default, using the first part, second part, and third part. In this example, we'll use the last name, first name, and spouse's first name fields to create the folder if it doesn't already exist. Scan and Organize can name the contacts folders for you based on the data and up to these three fields. You can even add a field to your ACT database that will be used in the naming of the folder. This could be a customer ID, a company ID, or you can use any other data in the record. Alternately, you can name the folder on the fly or choose a folder that already exists. Other configuration preferences available include automatically create a folder for each contact. You would choose this option only if you do not have folders already created for your clients. Automatically navigate to the contact's default folder. This option should normally be checked all the time. So as I look up a contact in ACT, the software will automatically look up that contacts folder. Automatically look up the contact folder when selected. This allows you to, on the left-hand pane, to double-click on the client's folder, and it will actually create a lookup of that contact inside of the ACT interface. Attaching scanned documents. And when you do attach scanned documents, you can either attach them to the Documents tab, History, or to the Notes. You can do this by default or simply let the document pass to the client's folder instead. You can turn off the display of the toolbar if required, or the display tree view, which is on the right-hand side. You can also set the default view on how you would like to look at the contents of the folder. In our case, we're looking at the Details view. Alternately, you can set a background image to accentuate your background of your organizer tab. You can also define what position the tab holds within your tab order. And right now I'm using a tab level 8, which is the 8th tab from the left. I can also trim white spaces or blank spaces within. This will only trim blank spaces that are within a specific field, not spaces between the fields. If you automatically create subfolders for each contact's folder, you can designate which folders can be named or created automatically. If you don't automatically create them, you can still type in the names of those subfolders, and you can then right mouse click within the folder and simply tell the software to force the subfolders, and all the subfolders will be created. You can also create a subfolder to display all your ACT attachments and include a file name in the subject line of all your emails. You can disable or enable the Organizer tab on any of these entities within the ACT interface. We also recommend that you have all three of these checked if you are scanning using the scanner above. Now, the Scan and Organize only uses a TWAIN compliant scanner, but if you notice that the Windows also has a TWAIN scanner that comes with it. So if your scanner does have a TWAIN, it may also have a Windows TWAIN. Either of these can be selected when scanning. That is my settings. Notice that as I go to a specific contact in the database, if a contact is already created, it will take me to that person's folder. In this case, I looked up Christy Cameron, and I was taken to Christy Cameron's folder. If I go to Frida, Haley Frida's contact, it takes me to her folder. I can also, within the interface, double-click on any contact, and it will actually navigate me to that person's contact record. I can right mouse click and force my subfolders if I want to create subfolders. Those were predefined in my configuration. In this case, I wanted to create subfolders under Dieter Teresa Brock. I can also link this person to a different folder. So if this folder is not the appropriate folder, I can choose the link button and I can browse to the existing folder that I want to link this contact to. So in this case, I may want to link it to this folder, and at this point, I'm now associating that contact, Dieter Brock, to ABC Inc. As I navigate to a different contact and back to Dieter, you'll notice that it will take me back to the ABC Inc. folder. From within the interface, I can also use my toolbar for various sources. If I want to scan a document, I can simply scan the document here. The software will automatically give the file a name, but you can change the name. You can also designate the actual file type, and these are the file types that are available. Most users will use the PDF file. You can do some basic adjustments related to the quality of the file. That affects the size of the file itself. You can also select a different scanner if you have a different scanner loaded on your local machine. You can append the file with additional information. So this information will append the properties of the file. I can alternately scan a document and attach it to the Documents tab, or to the History, or to the Notes within the ACT interface. This creates an attachment within the interface. So that from there, the file will actually reside in the client's folder, and a document will also be attached to a note or to a history or to the Documents tab. I can alternately scan a document and attach that document to each activity within an activity series. So if I have a workflow that I want to execute because of a scanned document, I can choose that activity series and choose my scan here, which will then attach a shortcut to each of the activities within that activity series. If I want a simple activity and want to attach the document to a simple single activity, I can choose Create an Activity here. From within the interface, I'm also able to open up the Windows Explorer folder. I can do that by clicking on this icon here, and it will bring up the native Windows Explorer for this particular client's folder. If I go to a different client in the database, I can also pull up the client's folder by clicking on the icon that we install on the toolbar. And that will bring up this particular person's native Windows folder within the Internet Explorer or Windows Explorer. If I want to burn my files, in some types of industries you're required to take certain types of backups, and in this particular case we're able to burn all of the files to a CD-ROM by clicking on this icon here. I do a lookup and choose a contact here. It takes me to Haley Frieda's folder, and then from here I'm able to do other things. So from within the interface I can also click here to attach the document. Again, I can attach it to the notes, to the histories, or to the Documents tab. I can either create a link to the document or copy the document, which is the traditional way documents are attached inside of ACT. If you're in a database synchronization mode, or if you're in a mixed mode with ACT for web users, we recommend that you attach by copying the original document so that the document will be accessible to other users that aren't connected to your network. You also have the ability to take the file and you can create an activity or an activity series from the file. Again, I can attach this document to an individual activity, and the activity will automatically come up as with an alarm, and I can simply reschedule or change the activity if necessary by typing in whatever information is necessary. And if you notice on the details area, I actually have an attachment which creates a link to the document. So as I assign this activity to another user in my database, that user will immediately have access to the document without necessarily having access to the folder. Here's the document link, and opening that will open up the client's file. You can also send emails from within the interface, or you can also right mouse click within the interface and you can scan or send documents directly to your email or to an external drive. All of your Windows Explorer right mouse click functionality is available. From here I can delete files, I can cut files, I can paste files in folders, and I can copy files. The Scan and Organize gives you the full capabilities of Windows Explorer within the ACT interface and saves the user an enormous amount of time in regard to locating and finding files. And I will do an example here of the drag and drop features within the interface. So I can simply take this document and drag it directly in, and now I have drag and drop capabilities from within the interface. If you'd like additional information, please call 831-7636. Thank you.